I always have to kneel down. This is annoying, but... So, how would I fix the election process, just in general? Because, let's face it, it's very hostile. We can all agree on that. Well, it's pretty simple. Everyone talks about breaking down the two-party system, and it's sort of like that, but I'm taking it a step further. Parties themselves are somewhat against the process, if you understand what that mangled sentence meant. Having a party sort of changes how we go about politics. Like, you are no longer going, this is what I think I can do to fix the country. You're going, this is what I am told to do. It becomes very isolated and hard to change, and it's almost impossible to, get a real discussion going, because you're not talking to a person whose ideals can be, changed and improved through, stuff like arguing and examples, but you're fighting against an entity that's sort of a hive mind. I don't know why I actually went to the whiteboard for this. I'm not using it at all. So, time to pretend that it's useful. So, this is a guy. You can't even see it. See? That insignificant. This... that's a party. You can't hope to have one little dot that you can barely even see on that influence this in any way. The most you can do is just add a dot or subtract a dot, and that's not going to do anything. And if you have another giant party formed against this, you just have these two massive blobs going against each other, and no matter how many parties are in that system, that doesn't really change what it's doing, which is bashing its head against a wall, pretty much. So, if you instead just don't have parties and force people to run on their own, well, now suddenly each person's just a dot, and they can be reasoned with. They can have a discussion. They can be swayed. They can go, okay, maybe you're doing it in a better way than I am. But, of course, there's a problem with this. If we just say, okay, you have to run by yourself, won't we only be run by people who can, afford to do an election? All the giant floats and whatever. I don't know why I said floats. I've never seen a float during an election, but, appear on TV like every other week and yell at the other opponent. Or at least that's what happened this time. So instead, here's what I suggest. It's one person, and that one person who decides to run for president, along with everyone else who decides to run for president, is not allowed to campaign. They get equal materials. They are given one website that is run by committee, let's say, and they get 10 minutes of screen time per, let's say, 10 minutes on September and October and the month before August. That's the thing I was trying to say. It's August, September, October. Those 3 months, 10 minutes during each month on air. That is all they get. If they even attempt to try and campaign apart from that, they are disqualified. They are no longer allowed to run for president. Because if you make sure that everyone is given equal time and an equal opportunity to state their mind, it no longer becomes a roadshow. It becomes, these are my ideals. This is what I think I can bring to the table. And that leads to a healthier discussion. doesn't lead to name calling, because the person who name calls for 10 minutes isn't going to make as much as an upset as someone who name calls for a year and a half. A year and a half of just scandal after scandal for either party, person, whatever. It's either going to help them a lot or it's going to absolutely destroy them. So, boiling it down to what it should be, in my opinion, I think it would do a lot more good than what we're doing currently. But you might not agree, so tell me down in the comments below. So, this is all the time we have for these 4 days. So, if you thought this video was good, or you liked me smashing a pumpkin, or anything maybe you just like my voice, who knows? Well then, I want you to draw an L line on its side. Okay? And then if you think maybe you want to see more of these videos, draw another L that's lying on its face. And I think you can see where I'm going with this. And then, just for completeness sakes, draw a triangle in it. And then, I'm not sure if you're fully getting the picture, so maybe search for something on your screen that sort of looks like that maybe has some words next to it, and maybe is next to maybe my channel image. Maybe you want to click that. But, that's purely up to you guys. And I will see you in the next 4 days.